the actual amount of time on this is probably closer to 8 hours or so, but I did have the AFK open for quite a bit today. See the damage here. I mean, charge calling damage starts to get kind of insane, even on basically just nothing. So we're here pushing, what, 500 million, you know, close to 1 billion damage. Here, some of this I believe is with pets. Let's change it to like a loot or a basically like loot pets or whatever pets here. We'll see what this changes it to. I think the pet damage is actually carrying it quite significantly here. Yeah, pet damage is making a big difference here. Pet damage I think is what, doubling it, maybe a little bit more than doubling it, just because all the extra minion life and stuff on it. Not quite then. I guess maybe the minion damage is giving it maybe 100 mil or so. So this is just like, this is without boss damage. These are the pets that I am using for bossing. This is using this Whisper Wind Leaves, which does give a 22% additional damage for recently summoned minions. And then we just have a bunch of minion damage on every node here, as well as the minion max life. All of the damage scaling that you're really getting on Moto is really coming from this here, which is adding base physical damage equal to 16% of the troops max life, as well as then you're using basically these little nodes here. You want to stack this mod here for stacking percent of the player's max life to the base life of the minion, and then you basically just stack your life as high as you can possibly get. Then you do want this mod here as well. This adds physical damage for every max life of the minion. Of course, the higher roll you get, the better off you're going to get. I did end up getting the 4-piece set bonus for this, which is just kind of nice. It's just giving you some extra mechanical parts as well as just some extra resist. But the main thing you're getting from all these is you're just getting nice life and res and armor gear, which is really helpful. Of course, for the chest we just had this basically chest here, this ES chest here with some nice life and res on it. We did end up using a lonesome ring all the way through. And then I crafted this hammer near the very end. When I found it, it just had the area damage and minion skill level on it. And then I rolled it into a couple other stats here. So I got this attack crit strike rating, and then minion damage and minion crit strike damage. And at that point, that's when I actually changed it over to using... that's when I swapped this over to using isomorphic arms. So when you're first leveling, again, you're still just going to take all this minion damage, some crit chance, some CDR, and then you are just pushing this minion damage, minion skill level, and minion max life. You do take orders. If you really need the defenses, you can take shrink back, but it shouldn't be necessary. And then you take isomorphic arms later on once you actually get a good hammer. Before that, you just use Mighty Guard. For the Machinist tree here, we are using Boss here, which is just, you know, chance to deal double damage. Same thing for the tree, you're just going for all the max life and minion max life, as well as minion damage, some minion crit chance. Some armor and res here. I ended up hitting my res that I needed, so I didn't end up finishing out this node. And then you are taking this additional armor pen, as well as additional physical damage. Your double damage chance here, and then synthetic troop skill level. And then you can take burning aggression. I take kinetic conversion just because I really like the additional defenses that you get from kinetic conversion. Especially when you pair kinetic conversion with curtain over here, which makes your barrier bigger and then makes it to where it just refreshes the barrier you have whenever you gain another barrier. Typically without curtain, if you gain barrier when you already have barrier, it just won't do anything. It'll just basically not take effect at all. So with curtain, it just makes sure you basically always have a nice barrier up. And then I am running knowledgeable here just to buff the dark gate. Everything in this tree is just focusing on resistances mainly, picking up this erosion res, this elemental res, more elemental res here, as well as reduce elemental damage taken, converting some of the physical damage to elemental. And then we pick up the tenacity blessing up here, as well as the extra minion damage, the sealed mana, and then just some extra life in ES, and some CDR, and some aura stuff here. For the slates, I didn't have anything crazy that I found. I literally just found a couple of minion damage slates, and that's what got thrown in here. You might have to put magical source onto a as your fourth aura. If you don't end up getting a slate like this, this was really nice. It came in handy just to ensure that I didn't have to run magical slate on my reserved as life or as an aura. So I was able to just run this here, and this restore 1% mana was enough to carry all of my mana needs. In regards to the skills itself, you are going to be running Summon Machine Guard here with Servant Damage, Servant Speed, Mechanical Modification, and this crit strike rating increase in Servant Life. You don't want to use Mechanical Modification until you hit level 45, when you actually get the this quick trait here, Quick Battle. Before you get Quick Battle, you don't want to be running the other one, because your minions will actually be alive like 4 or 5 seconds before they blow up. And having more of the minions out is just a little bit more damage early on when you're spawning them. So mechanical modification gets much worse early on. But obviously when you get to the point where you're spawning 3 minions and they're instantly all exploding, it's better off to run it then. So next thing, I just had a compound source on. You can run this as anything else. You can run this as a defensive skill or something else. I just kept this on because I was lazy. I liked the extra movement speed from this, so I was fine with it. For most of the mapping, I was not running vulnerability. I just run a blurry steps here with a mania, a extended duration, and a well fought battle here. If you want to have the extra damage or defenses, you don't have to run blurry steps. I just enjoy the extra movement. Then I'm running Blink here with quick mobility and magic dash. And then I am running a Dark Gate here with extended duration, well fought battle, and mania. For the auras, I'm just running a Summon Thunder Spirit here for the additional attack and cast speed. And then you can run this as anything else. The Thunder Spirit honestly does kind of solid damage though, so it's nice. And then I'm just running this with a Servant Speed and GMP. And then I'm running a Fearless with Selfless, Stand as 1, and Aura Amp. And then Weapon Amp, Selfless, Stand as 1, and Aura Amp. Your last Aura, I was running it as Swiftness. You can run it as Magical Source again if you want. Same thing with Summon Thunder Spirit. If you just want to run this as a more defensive one, you can run this as Steadfast or something as well instead. That just really comes down to personal preference. I didn't end up needing it, so I was happy just to have the extra minion to get some extra damage out there. Yeah, so let me go ahead and showcase you kind of what this looked like mapping, and then I will again include the filter and the max roll build code for it in the details down below. So if you have any questions, then you can pop them in there, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So other than that, see you in the next one. But with this, again, you're just kind of teleporting forward. Your minions will keep spawning. Whenever you actually get stuck in place is when you'll kind of get that like chain spawning of everything because of the mechanical parts, which is what makes charge calling a really good Path of the Brave farmer. Or like the Divinity area now. People aren't really farming it necessarily as much because it's not as profitable as some of the other stuff, but there's a reason why charge calling has always been a very, very good character for that specific type of content, because the more you stand in place, the faster or the more your damage ramps up, because you start picking up these mechanical parts more, and then as they die, they're spawning more mechanical parts, and then you're just constantly chaining minions faster and faster and faster. So, yeah. See you in the next one. Oh, I'm gonna die. Maybe not. Hard to get myself. Oh my gosh, what a dummy. What a dum-dum. Well, that's done. I died because I suck, apparently.